This video is going to be a little bit different from what we usually do. We normally feature a particular artist, whereas in this video, we'll explore a topic. One that hasn't ever really been talked about, but it's completely obvious. We're going to timeline a few events that led up to this conclusion, which is all speculation, but makes really good sense. So just hang in there with us for a minute. It all kind of started, of course, in 2004 when T.I. went on stage after being released from prison and went for Lil Flip's head. If you can remember, this was at the peak of Lil Flip's career. He had dropped Underground Legend on Universal in 2002 and then followed up with You Gotta Feel Me in 2004 with the singles Game Over and Sunshine, which was essentially the end of his run. But Sunshine was the biggest record of his career. About 6 months later, T.I. came to Houston and got on the radio and called out Lil Flip and made his way to Cloverland. That's Lil Flip's hood, where the scuffle broke out and someone from Flip's camp pulled out a gun and fired it. Remember, this is now 2005. Houston was coming into the fold of the Slim Thug, Mike Jones, Chamillionaire Bun B Power Wall era when Houston had a chokehold on the game. But Atlanta was still putting together a great run of his own with T.I. and Jeezy and the whole trap music movement. But Houston had the whole South yelling Free Pimp C. Everybody was collaborating on records. Bun did several songs with Jeezy. Slim and T.I. did a song or two. Jeezy put him and Zero and Jay-Z on a song together, and so on. So ultimately, they overlooked the whole Lil Flip and T.I. controversy. But then, Pimp C got out in late 2005. And then this happened.
Man, I'm from the game. Them prices that them boys talking about, man, them boys ain't got no prices like that in no Atlanta. And if you do, right now, bring some where my people at, we'll buy it and flush it down the toilet. We don't support drugs. But show it to me, man, because I know who had on backpacks. I know where they parents they rolled up in Timberland boots in 1998, and they acting like they some big-time drug dealers, okay? Because Young Jeezy ain't the only one spitting fake dope prices. Let me say this. There's a whole bunch of people lying. So if you want to point fingers at somebody, let's point fingers at everybody. If I was going to diss Young Jeezy, I would have came right out and said his name and dissed him. I'm not scared of no man. And the next thing is this. They need to free Big Meech because it's all circumstantial evidence. And the next thing is this. Everybody was down and everything was cool with BMF before they got busted. Everybody wanted to be down with the play until they got busted. And then when it went sour, then nobody want to fly the flag no more. Am I lying or telling the truth?
I think it's because they ain't want to go to jail, though.
Yeah, but they was down when the party was going on and everybody was throwing money in the club. Everybody was still down. If you was Black Mafia family in the streets, when they was spending all that money in the strip club, you need to be Black Mafia family right now when everybody getting indicted.
Here's where it starts to get sticky. In 2012, T.I. signed Trader Truth to his Grand Hustle label. But T.I. had a beef with Lil Flip, who was screwed up clique members and at the time had recently repaired or began a friendship with Zero. However you want to look at it. But Zero and Trey had separated from having their differences. ABN was no more. So, that etched another wedge in between the two cities. You might be wondering, why would that create a divide? You have to remember, Pimp C and Zero are or were faces of Houston. Both were signed to rap a lot. They aren't just any rapper making comments or having a point of view. So for lack of a better term, their opinion matters, and the city tends to follow suit. Now coming up to recent years, when you thought that things have subsided and things are getting better by virtue of time passing, Sauce Walka and Young Thug are constantly going back and forth. So these are my 3 valid points. And it's like the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Although smaller artists tend to work together, but there hasn't been any collabs like there were before the Pimp C interview. Yeah, artists from Atlanta can come to Houston and tour and do shows with no significant problems. But as far as networking, there are few and far in between. As many artists as there are being manufactured in Atlanta, and as many super talented artists there are in Houston, nobody has came and gotten any of these artists. Houston is once again a hotbed for talent. Travis Scott, Megan Thee Stallion, Max O'Cream, Tobin the Wigway, OTB Fastlane, Ken the Man, and recently Young Ro signed with Meek Mill. So we don't necessarily need Atlanta, but it would be nice to see some gaps being bridged for the sake of South.
Eat this shit up.